The Music Industry in 2020. Is This a Decline of Culture? By Grace Tuddenham. This documentary is going to be about the music industry and the effects 2020 has had on it. From COVID-19 and lockdown to the future effects Brexit is going to have on the music industry and how this could be a decline in music culture. With the banning of live music due to COVID-19, representatives have said that the pandemic has had a decimating effect on the UK's music industry. This has caused a huge gap in the UK's culture sector. With the lack of live music, this has not only put the industry in danger, but also music culture in the UK. It has been warned that the vast majority of people could disappear from the UK festival industry if it suffers another year without festivals. Culture can act as a form of social control as the culture industry is motivated by the capitalist profit motive, and with the lack of gigs there has been a decline in this profit. Adorno states that the culture industries make mass culture, which equals in dumb culture, for example popular music, which could increase from lockdown and people not experiencing different types of music at festivals and gigs. With the new Brexit deal, there has been a change for musicians who would play across the EU without needing a work permit to now having to have one. The UK government told people that they had put forward for this no visa rule and the EU declined, but recently it has come out that the opposite has happened. There has been many petitions with over 260,000 signatures asking for a Europe-wide visa-free work permit for all touring professionals. With the cost of having to obtain a visa for performing within EU countries, this will see a decline in smaller artists being able to tour or play festivals. This could alter subcultures within the music industry as like-minded people will not be meeting through gigs, which could lead to a negative effect on the music culture as a whole, as the UK will be losing live music performances from other countries, which has brought over a vast variety within the music culture already. This documentary will mostly be interviews through Zoom or some other internet video call, as this will give the 2020 aesthetic, as everything had to be moved online during the pandemic, so this will show what people were having to do during the year. I'm hoping for around 4 interviews with a variety of people from the music industry. These 4 to 5 interviews will be semi-structured with a mixture of open and close-ended questions. I shall also be including snippets of interviews with people who would go to gigs and see how they have felt without live music for over a year. I shall be doing interviews on existing and new musicians. These interviews will be around how 2020 has affected their career within the music industry and their opinions on the new Brexit rules for performing live music within EU countries. Throughout this documentary, I will be using old footage of gigs that happened before 2020 and what the venues are like during and after 2020 as people are unable to attend live music in person. I shall be editing them together so it's a quick change between the loud music with people screaming to silent, empty venues to show the contrast of the industry from 2020. I will be taking shots from outside the closed venues by walking up to the closed doors and around the empty venues with some slow zoom-ins of the buildings to get a sad feeling across to show the drastic change of live music venues. The old footage is from the perspective of someone enjoying themselves in a crowd, and the closed venue footage is from the perspective of someone walking past a closed down building. With live music moving online, I've got some shots of watching live music on a TV. The room has the lights turned off to try and have the same feeling as a gig. Showing the TV in the shot will also show the digital side to 2020 life and how different live music is now with venues being closed and being moved onto TV. I shall also be including shots of musicians playing their instruments in their bedroom, focusing on the instrument, or if they are producing music, I will film their screen and their hands to show the viewers what they are doing. As interviews are the main source for this documentary, each participant will be fully aware of what will be happening and know that if they want to withdraw from the interview at any point, then they are able to do so. These questions could bring up some difficult emotions as this is an uncertain time for musicians. Informed consent is very important when conducting interviews. Therefore, I shall be sending my interviewees the questions beforehand with an in-depth explanation of what the documentary is about and how I shall be presenting their interviews, so they know everything that will be happening. To make sure there are no risks when undergoing these interviews, I shall be conducting them over the internet, not only to ensure safety of myself and the participants, but to also add the effect of the documentary and the 2020 aesthetic of online and digital life. I will be editing a lot of different clips together from old footage to interviews. All these videos will take a lot of editing as I will be doing quick cuts to show the contrast of the footage. This documentary is focused on musicians and past footage, so I will not be appearing that much apart from when I'm doing the interviews online, as I want to film the screen to show the 2020 aesthetic. I have been influenced by Louis Theroux and his documentaries on personal issues for my own documentary when interviewing participants about their own experiences and views. I have also taken influence from Marlon Briggs's documentary Tongues Untied by having different videos edited together with interviewees talking over the top instead of the original audio. With regards to Bill Nicholas's modes of representation, my documentary fits into participatory and performative documentary. These types of documentaries will help tell a compelling story about the music industry in 2020. Participatory documentaries include first-person storytelling. This will be able to give me real emotion to the viewers as they will be able to connect with the participants and see how this has affected them, along with performative documentaries, which will be used to show a personal side of the documentary through the footage itself. This documentary will be in colour as I want to keep a modern look on it, as this is a contemporary issue starting from March 2020 when lockdown started in the UK. I will be using the digital look for when conducting interviews, as I want the online digital effect of 2020 in this documentary to show viewers how hard it has been on the musicians having to stay at home. This will also be seen in the videos of home production music. I shall also express the emotion of the content by quickly switching from loud videos of old gigs and then to footage of quiet, empty venues. From this film, I want to learn what 2020 has been like for musicians and other music industry professionals. I also want to share their stories of how much of an impact this has had on the music industry workers and how Brexit is going to impact them. I want to share their thoughts, feelings and emotions through this film and also show the drastic changes 2020 has had on the public.